So I know that there are some people that are going to say, hey, I can't, pay myself first by signing up for the company 401k and doing the match. Usually that's 4 to 6%. Or I can't automate my savings every month and send $50 a paycheck or whatever it is to, another account and invest the money or put it in a high yield savings account because I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Every dollar is spent. I don't have any money. And I will admit there is a small, amount of people out there that's probably completely true, man. You just don't have any money extra at all because you just don't make enough, and your fixed costs or fixed expenses every month, like housing, car payments, insurance, utilities, bills that you have to pay every month, they're just too high for your very small income maybe. I know that because I understand how that feels. But I think for most people, they don't fit in that bucket exactly. You might not have much. Maybe it's $10, $20, $30. So I guess a good thing a question to answer is, hey, well, what can you do to get a little bit more money to invest? Somebody very close to me recently found out that they had a lot of subscriptions. And I knew they had a lot of subscriptions, but when they really started looking at it, they had about 40 subscriptions, monthly subscriptions that are reoccurring payments. What really shocked me is I was looking at a calculator recently, and I wanted to do the math myself because I was listening to the Choose FI podcast, which is like one of my favorite podcasts in the world, and my favorite one about paying yourself first and money and being frugal and all kinds of things. They really talk about spending your money on vacations, experiences more than buying things or eating out all the time. Of course, it depends on what's important to you, but we were looking at these subscriptions this person had, and they had so many, and they didn't even realize. They knew they had a lot, but they didn't realize they had that many. So they had to look at their banking statements, all their credit card statements, and write a list, and they had almost 40 subscriptions. Whether it's streaming services, memberships, club dues, just all kinds of stuff. And they got it down to, I think, like 5. So those reoccurring expenses can cost you a lot because only $100 a month, a reoccurring expense, over 30 or 40 years will cost you literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm not joking. I think it said for a 40-year period, it was like $300,000. But I was actually doing some math, and I found that even just cutting it off for, say, 20 years could be easily over 100,000 or even 200,000, depending on how much those expenses are. So you don't realize just $50 a month, $30 a month, $100 a month for this service or that service. That's reoccurring every month. And if you were saving that same amount of money instead of spending it on those services, that you probably don't even have time to use all of them or enjoy them all fully anyway. You might say, well, I use my subscriptions. I have like 10 or 15. I use them all. But do you really enjoy them all thoroughly? Can you really enjoy them all completely if you have 5 or 6 streaming services? And then how many free apps are there? Like Tubi and stuff like that you can watch for free. And then there's all the channels you can get with an antenna. Then you have movies you can watch. There's all kinds of things. But you can't really enjoy that many subscriptions. But if you put that money away and, for instance, in the stock market, in an index fund, a low-cost index fund at, say, 7 or 8% a year, that compounded interest is amazing. And over 10 years, it'll be a large, massive amount if you save it. So anyway, like Warren Buffett always says, compounded interest is the 8th wonder of the world. And I say that all the time because it's true. And I want to remind myself daily of why I am paying myself first and that I've tried to keep my subscriptions down. Because remember, the subscriptions and things like that, going out to eat, spending money, buying things that you really don't need, a lot of material objects, that is discretionary. A lot of that's, wasteful spending. And so the reason I say that is because your fixed costs are a lot harder to adjust. It takes time. But those discretionary expenses that you're doing, a lot of the subscriptions and the waste and all that, that is the money that you should be saving for your future. And that's money that you won't miss when you're paying yourself first instead of buying those things. Anyway, please put down in the comments what you think about it and what kind of things have you cut out of your life to save money. Or you're like, I'm just not ready yet. I'm not ready for it yet. I'm not ready for a new season of change. I like to have all my subscriptions and go out to eat a lot or buy a lot of things, or maybe it's something else. Anyway, I'm interested to hear it. So put down in the comments. Thanks.